Hey YouTube, Dr. Rice back at you with another video. Be sure to like and subscribe, and be sure to follow me over on Twitter at Dr. Rice Central. We continue to have the intelligent conversation. I'm here today with Latifah, the love of my life, and yeah, we're going to be bringing you some videos here, hopefully, because I've been missing for a while, but I've been nurturing my relationship. It's been an interesting summer, to say the least, and so forth and so on. It's going to be an interesting future as we move forward as well. What do you think?
I agree with
Absolutely,
it.
absolutely. So one of the things that we've been talking about is doing something together, and we've been talking about it for months now, months and months and months actually. So now that we're in this particular place, we're gonna bring that to you, as well as YouTube told me I need to do a video. Remember that the other day?
They did.
What did they tell me?
They are going to do. They are going to shut you down, babe.
They're gonna shut me down if I if I don't do a video. So I guess they're forcing my hand a little bit, which we were going to be doing anyway at some point, but it was just no rush. I like to talk about things that no one else is talking about, all of those things. And let me start with, you know, uh, typically we've talked about the R. Kelly situation, and I can tell you right now, I think it's all BS. And let me just be clear about my viewpoint on it, and it's all been a whirlwind of motherfucking nonsense. So let me be straight with that. All of the concerted effort to make it seem some type of way that it wasn't, and people who pretending to be for him not, and all of that. You know, it's interesting how far people will go, but I'm going to leave that there, and we'll get back into that a little bit later. And so, with that being said, what do you want to talk about in introducing yourself?
Introducing myself. I think we want to stick to the topic of relationships, babe.
You like
And
relationships?
yeah, and
Oh,
what?
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
that whole dynamic thing.
Well, that's interesting, isn't it, to say the least. So being in that place of relationships, I guess we'll explore some of the things that we've talked about. We've done this before on my channel because we've talked about relationships. We've had focus groups as it relates to women and men around the United States. But I also still want to stay in touch with injustices and things like that that's happening in our society, as well as, you know, everyday issues, what people are going through, or whatever else. I think I think to be open and have an eclectic approach is the way. And you guys chime in, leave me comments, and let me know what you like to hear about and those types of things, and we'll talk about it. But as for right now, I wanted you to understand what I've been doing this year and where I've been, and we're going to get into it because it's a place of safety with our relationship. It's a place of communication. It's a place of commonality. It's a place of liking the same things, being able to finish each other's sentences, all of those types of things. But I think what's most unique about it is the layers that we're able to pull back and expose to one another about who we are as people, and talk about things that most people don't want to talk
Don't.
about it. Yeah. How do you see that?
We go through life protecting ourselves, but we also have to be protected. Like you have a responsibility to protect me, I have a responsibility to protect you.
Right. With my
So
fist, right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Okay. Okay.
so, I mean it's just there's just so many components that you have to consider.
Mm-hmm.
Um so those are only a few working parts of them, but
Or be in that space where you can talk to one another about anything. And I think that's the catalyst right there.
yeah.
That anything, not the sort of anything that people want to hear because you said it, but to understand it in a place just the way you see it in your mind so that you can talk about it and then you can laugh about it even later. But being comfortable enough to say who you are, expose who you are, and be real about it.
Um I think you and I were on two different journeys. You were
Yeah, mine was out there because I was in a lot of
yeah.
relationships. I had, and I don't answer to anybody.
Mm-mm.
So, but you know this, you know the people that know me, and you know my friends who know me for 40 and 50 years, and they'll tell you that that's the place that I never took anyone to be serious because I never had to. And so, being that type of a man and saying, okay, I want my space when I want my space. But first, it takes a man with the understanding, first of all, to know how to get there. And it takes a woman who will follow and understand and trust in that. So you have to have a man that's a leader,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Strong leader.
a strong leader to
Hmm.
understand that. I know, you and I have talked about some things, and when we talk about it, talk about it in a way of dominance. Would you say that I'm a
Yeah, you
dominant?
are.
What? Oh, not, okay, now what does that mean? Yeah,
You
yeah.
are. I mean, you're not like go do this. You're not that type. You just
Mm.
know who you are. And you're not going to you know and understand who you are. You know and understand. You're not going to compromise your manhood because
Right.
you've come into it and you know it and you understand it. So it's there's not someone who can come into there's not even someone who could probably even demasculate you because you just have an understanding of yourself. You just very self-aware.
I know that I am. I mean, they talk about these different levels of male, beta, and all. Like they say, alpha is the.
No, you are alpha, babe.
So you would say that.
Yeah,
I
for
would.
sure.
I would say that too because I just it doesn't move. But my conviction, I'm able to explain the
Hmm.
reason why, and I think that within itself says I'm not doing it just to push through
Hmm.
or to have my way or to be this way. There is still a logic and understanding to my decision making
Yeah.
process and how I react to things and even my protection. We went over that the other day. I'm doing this because of this, and this. You said, I get it.
Hmm.
You're right. And so those are the type things and decisions that have to be made. But then when you understand it, then you understand where I'm going and where my thinking is, because there is a level of protection that needs to take place, and there's a level of respect that has to be had. And so, but then again, you're a woman, and it's just so amazing because, and I don't want to say submissive. It's not that. It's that you respect what it is that I say.
Yeah.
And so when you have that, and we can have the dialogue, it's really not that, because you get to express your intent. Because what are the things that I tell you about talking to me? You can talk to me about him. Say
Anything.
it to me just
Yeah,
like
that's
what?
the way it's in my head.
Just
Give it to me just the way it's in
I
your
want it straight. Just like a shot of look. I want it straight. No chaser. There it is. Give it to me. Because one of the things where we never talked about our history, I think people in our home knew, but everybody else really didn't know. And so, but one of the things that you get to say, and I've heard you say many times, he already knows that.
Yeah.
I've already told him that.
Hmm.
He already knows that.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel to hear things that come in that I already know that people don't think I know, because they don't think that you have the gumption or the umph to say
I'm just like, it's covered.
it?
I'm covered.
Absolutely.
It's a free space. I just want to be free, babe. I just need to be free.
Absolutely. And so when we talk about our flaws with each other, and then people we know might not know we said that, and you might get the slide in, the tester, and you throw it out there. Man, get out of here with that,
Hmm.
man. I already know that. We already
Hmm.
talked about
Yeah.
that. We've been there, done that.
Hmm.
And that's a different place. And when you're talking about full communication,
Yeah.
and not the surfacial, topical, normal, going around way to get to know each
Yeah,
other.
because what you're doing is when people don't have that type of communication, you're really just waiting for the breaks.
Well,
You're really just,
you're waiting for it, but not only that. See, that a dude like me, for instance, I don't do first dates.
no, you don't.
I do not do first dates. That's not how I get down. I'm probably on the fifth date. You know what I'm saying? I'm on the fifth date.
Hmm.
Uh, from the beginning.
Hmm.
would you?
Yeah.
So okay. So what does that look like? So because I'm saying something that most people might not understand, and people could interpret that in a lot of ways. That I expect something from. So understanding that I say I don't do first date, but you know what that means, and so what does that look like? What do I mean when I say that?
Pulling back those layers and you're not exposing who you are, you're not being vulnerable, you're not feeling safe. If you can have a great time, have a beautiful home, and build a wonderful life together, but if you're not safe in your relationship, if you're not finding out that this is going to be a safe place for me at the very onset, and that takes a lot of communication.
It does.
It takes a lot of willingness, honesty, things that we talk about all the time. If you're not, if you're getting 10 years down the road if you're getting a year down the road, if you're getting 6 months down the road and you're not safe, and you can't even find out if you're safe, it's like it's all for naught.
Yeah.
And so I get why you skip the first date, because you're just like, I need to know if I'm safe in this right now so I can move in this. And that's
I
what
know
I
what I
want.
have. I
Right,
want to know what I
right.
have.
And I think everyone really wants that, but they don't know how to go about doing it. I don't even think that they consider, or I think people know that they're not safe in situations, but they're still trying to compensate for it, or they're still trying to make up reasons as to why they need to stay or make it work or be hopeful for it or make
Well,
hopes that it changes.
here it is in a nutshell. I already know it's always fun to have fun.
Yeah.
I already know that. I already know it's fun to go out to eat.
Hmm.
I already know that. I know it's fun to play a game of pool. I already know that. I know it's fun to go to amusement park, go to putt putt, go take a trip to the beach. I know those things are fun.
Hmm.
But what does it look like? Can we coexist without doing those things?
Yeah.
What does that look like first?
Right. First.
What does it look like when we're sitting down talking like we are here in a quiet space? What does that look like first?
Hmm.
You go and you trying to decide based on a person being dressed up or looking nice or just took a shower. What does that person look like in their normal habitat? Is the bathroom? Is it dishes? And is it drawers laying on the floor? Do they have to run around? Oh, let me clean up before you come in because I ain't did nothing in here. Is the person clean? And so out here you get to see the representative.
Hmm.
But when you come in here and you see the mess,
Hmm.
you understand that's a different. Can I live with their mess?
Hmm.
And that doesn't simply represent that, but it means represent with them in a way that can we coexist? Can we have a conversation? Can we do something other than that?
The effort you expend covering up what you don't want to expose, you are putting twice the amount of effort into building someone that you're not. It's like you're, like you say, a representative, right? And then down the road you meet these breaks because something happens or something gets exposed, and you're
Absolutely.
like, okay, that's not who you were all along. Or in
And that's how you wake up later. Who is this person that
yeah,
I'm
who
laying next
right,
to?
who right.
Where's the person? And see, you get to where's the person who used to take me out? We used to go bowling. We used to
Hmm.
get out. We used to do that. Because that's how it started.
Hmm.
And how it started is not the reality of how it's going to be. Because you have good, you have bad days. You days when you're busy, weeks when you're busy. You're trying to accomplish goals. You're trying to accomplish things. You're trying to get this promotion on your job. You have to work a little bit hard. And so it's not going to be going out to eat, going playing pool, going to the movies, all of these things that fun.
Yeah.
And so you say we don't never do nothing. We don't never gonna because you didn't even realize that in this relationship, can you be in a space of not going nowhere
Yeah.
for a minute? You know what I'm saying? Can you be in this place of okayness,
Hmm.
just communicating? Or do you have to be in a relationship where it's constantly on the go? Because the way that it starts is the way that it has to be facilitated.
Right.
And so it's not that it can't be facilitated, but you need to know the person that you're getting to know. This is what's interesting. Though. So you say you have this relationship, right? And then inside of this relationship, you don't feel like you can say everything. And so then you have this person on the outside that you can say these things to because they're not in a relationship with you, but it's
Hmm.
still somebody that you can tell, right? So
Hmm.
you can't tell this person, but I can talk to this because there's no vested interest for this person.
Yeah.
And so you're telling this, your most intimate personal things that you can't tell the person that you're living with or being with or cohabitating with or trying to be with
Hmm.
about you, but yet you can tell this individual who doesn't know you in a nutshell that way. And so they're getting the to know you, and it's interesting how those relationships seem to form.
Hmm.
It's because you're giving yourself in a freeness.
Not
So
only do they form, but it's almost like it begins to almost in a way facilitate or direct what your relationship is now going to look like, because they're putting their input and you're bringing that input back. And you might not be saying, oh, this person is saying this to me, but you're acting out and living out what their input was.
Absolutely.
And you're putting it all with someone who doesn't even.
And, you know, understanding that you endeavor to go farther has to be an intentional thing. It's not a wait and see thing.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is it's always wait and see, time will tell. Time ain't never told nothing. Time has never taught, ever.
Yeah.
It still has to be discovered.
Mm-hmm.
So why not discover it
No.
now? So time ain't never said, hey, that ain't gonna work. That's not what time does. It's all those things you didn't do that you say time will tell because you never talked about it. You never even tried to talk. You never tried to open yourself up.
Okay, babe. So I know you have some golden nugget you want to share with the people, something they can just take back with them and just.
Well, if I had to say anything, this would be the nugget here. Find that thing that you don't do well, and then don't do that thing.
Mm,
How about that?
that's good, babe. That's good.
Yeah.